Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. It is a Tuesday, the third day of June, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Let's get to the stories that matter today. With the Senate continuously postponing Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment case, uncertainty looms over its progress in the new Congress. Some lawmakers claim that delays could already constitute a legal violation. President Bongbong Marcos formally installs General Nicolas Torre III as PNP chief, ordering a crackdown on police misconduct and a swift resolution to drug cases. I Love Filipino, a new documentary series, premieres on Netflix this June 12 in honor of Independence Day. Journalist Jiggy Manicad leads the show, showcasing Filipino art, architecture, culture, and cuisine. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda. After a series of delays in the Senate on the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte, the question now is, will it still move forward under the new Congress? Here's the full story.
The articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte were supposed to be presented yesterday, June 2, but it has been pushed back to June 11. That's cutting it close because by June 13, the 19th Congress will go on sine die adjournment, meaning whatever action the current Congress takes, it will be up to the 20th Congress to decide what happens next. The debate now is, can the 20th Congress legally continue an impeachment that started under the 19th?
Pwedeng sabihin ng 19th Congress, tatawid yan. Pero ang pasya ng 20th Congress, hindi tatawid yan. At i-dismiss nila. So, depende. Sa dulo, you have to understand, in Congress, plenary is supreme.
For Senator Risa Hontiveros and Minority Leader Koko Pimentel, the Senate must act now. They argue that these delays may already be a violation of law.
Jurisdiction once acquired is not lost but continues until the case is terminated. It is my humble opinion that the trial of the current impeachment case, now pending before the Senate of the 19th Congress, can cross over or continue from the 19th Congress to the 20th Congress.
Once we receive the articles of impeachment, trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Hahatulan tayo ng sambayanan kung hindi natin ginampanan ang tungkulin na ito sa sambayanan.
Meanwhile, Congresswoman-elect and incoming House Prosecutor Laila De Lima told 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang that passing the responsibility to the next Congress is not an option.
That's part of their mandate na magkaroon ng impeachment trial. Hindi nila pwedeng sabihin at this point, hindi na muna kami mag-trial kasi hihintayin namin yung next Congress. Kasi hindi na pwedeng mag-cross over doon sa next Congress.
Okay.
So wala silang ganong option.
In the same program, Senator Francis Tolentino admitted that the Senate should have started the impeachment proceedings earlier. However, he argued the case is now de facto dismissed as the constitutional clock has been running since February 5 when the House impeached Duterte.
Yung constitutional clock started ticking February 5. You should read this together with the constitutional provision calling for a one case per year against the same respondent. So wala na po ito. Ang ibig sabihin po nito, de facto dismiss na yung kaso. Kasi mag-a-adjourn kami, sinigi-adjournment sa 13.
And whatever happens, Vice President Sara Duterte says she's ready to face the trial.
I was already preparing for it. Physically, I prepare for everything by making sure that I get the 8 hours of sleep and the vitamins that the doctors recommend that I take.
To discuss the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte, we have Senate Minority Leader Koko Pimentel joining us on the line. Senator, welcome to Morning Matters.
Good morning, Gretchen, and to everybody else. Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Okay, Senator Koko, bakit po kaya pagka pinakinggan po natin si Senate President Cheese Escudero, it seems a little bit like optional na lamang sa Senado kung mag-impeachment trial o hindi. Meron po bang ganun na option? I mean, is it really or merely the choice of the senators to convene as an impeachment court?
I think there is no choice but to proceed to trial because that is what the Constitution orders. And then siguro assurance na lang to all the senators that it is legal and it is constitutional to acquit the impeached official. If they really want to acquit the vice president, they can acquit her. But no one can deprive the Filipino people the chance and the opportunity to witness the trial of the impeachment case filed by the House of Representatives. So that is the only way to respect all of those involved in the process. Okay, so the people, through their chosen representatives who are members of the House of Representatives, have also acted. They investigated and then they filed a case. That case must be heard and must be tried by the Senate. And then it will be the senators who will come up with their judgment. And they can convict and they can acquit. Walang yun, hindi illegal yun, hindi siya masama, hindi siya illegal, hindi siya unconstitutional to acquit. Kaya what is more unconstitutional is to not hold the trial, because we will be going against a very specific phrase in the Constitution, that trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Ginamit yung word na trial eh. Trial, and then andun din yung word na proceed. So we cannot dispense with the trial. We owe that to the people out of respect for the actions of their own representatives sitting in the House of Representatives.
Pero Senator, ngayon, at this point, we are still stuck in the debate over whether this should continue. But as it stands, the reading of the impeachment articles or the presentation has been already delayed from June 2 to June 11. Hindi po ba yun po ay violation na as we speak? And also, possible po ba talaga to have a credible trial now? As Senator Francis Tolentino said, that only 12 senators remain and it is not enough to reach the 2/3 requirement needed for an impeachment.
I do not know what he's talking about, because 12 senators will remain and then 12 senators have been elected. So 12 plus 12 equals 24. So what is he talking about? The 12, I do not get it. and then the quorum is 12 plus 1, 13. So we have a surplus of senators for.
I think
for
Senator, I think
purposes.
he was talking about proceeding with the trial now at this point because meron po mga proposal to finish this by June 30 para wala po mga katanungan tungkol sa jurisdiction.
Wala. There is no proposal that everything will be finished by June 30, 2025, because that is incredible and impossible. Had we started in February, pwede. Pero now na June 3 na, kahapon June 2, ngayon June 3, wala na po yan. I mean, na po yan, that's already idle talk or diversionary talk that we will finish by June 30. Wala na po, no one says that. Ang importante is, alam na namin from the start, when we saw the Senate President's proposed impeachment calendar, he issued way back in February na this June 2 magsa-start. Alam ko na hindi, no way yan matapos by June 30. Because June 2, reading of the articles, June 3, convening of the court, then you start sending summons 10 days. The impeached official must be given 10 days to answer, and then upon answering, the House panel may file their reply to the answer within 5 days. So wala na po yan. May mga konting extra days of delay pa yan. You cannot finish it by June 30. Noon pa namin alam yan, noong February pa, when we saw the Senate President's impeachment calendar. Kaya I do not understand how come all of a sudden there is this idea that we need to finish by June 30. So I will not dignify anymore such an argument which comes from nowhere, is based on nothing.
So there is no possibility at all that this will be tackled or the trial will begin now.
When we say trial, okay, ito yung ang word ng trial, bigyan natin ng meaning. That would be the trial that we see in the movies, that a witness will be called to the witness stand, there will be direct examination, and there will be cross-examination. That will no longer happen. No such thing, no such kind will happen during the 19th Congress. Ubos sa filing of papers pa lang, ubos na po, aabutin na hanggang June 30. And that's the end of the 19th Congress. That's why sabi nga namin, there is no problem. Start the exchange of the papers because the trial can be done by the Senate of the 20th Congress. This Senate is the same. This is the same Philippine Senate. It just belongs to the 20th Congress with slightly different membership. But that is still the Senate that is being referred to in Article 11 of our Constitution as the Impeachment Court. It is the same Senate with different members to act as judges. So yun po yun. It's my argument is as simple as that. So the trial action, yung merong testigo na ini-examine at saka sinasubject sa cross-examination, doon na po yan mangyayari sa Senado ng 20th Congress na merong mga bagong muka at meron din mga lumang muka na senador.
I guess, Senator, you are citing also the jurisprudence, the Supreme Court decision rather of the 1950 Arnold versus Nazareno, where it ruled that the Senate is a continuing body from one Congress to another. Pero meron din po kasing isang desisyon yung Supreme Court back in 2019, yung Balag versus the Senate, where it said that the chamber drops everything once it adjourns at hindi na pwedeng ituloy sa susunod na Kongreso. Ano po ang mas matimbang dun sa dalawa pong Supreme Court decision na yun?
Well, yung last case na binanggit mo, that is about the an investigation, the Blue Ribbon investigation of the Senate. Kaya nga ang mga investigation namin kahit anong committee, that is initiated by a resolution, and then parating nakasulat dyan na merong legislative purpose. Nakasulat parating yan because those are governed by Article 6 of the Constitution, which governs the Senate and the House as the legislative department. Iba po yan. That's why ini-insist ko kanina, ang Senate as the impeachment court ay hindi nahahanap sa Article 6 ng ating Constitution, pero mahahanap ito sa Article 11 ng ating Constitution. So, kung meron mang interpretation ang Supreme Court that the work of the Senate stops upon its termination as a legislative body, Article 6. So, hindi apektado ang mga nakasulat sa Article 11 ng Constitution. Para na lang sa kaalaman ng mga nakikinig sa ating Gretchen, Article 6 of our Constitution is titled the Legislative Department. Article 11 of our Constitution is titled Accountability of Public Officers. So yun po yun. Ibang-iba. So, totoo yung may mga Supreme Court decision, but that, tsaka accepted na yan. But as far as your legislative matters or legislative functions are concerned, so yung mga bills, yung mga resolution, yung mga investigation, yung mga nakakulong dahil sa legislative investigation, kinulong yun dahil sa legislative investigation O pakawalan nyo na kasi patapos na kayo as a body na nag-conduct noong legislative investigation. Pero pagdating sa Senate Impeachment Court, meron kang docket number dyan, may caseload ka para kang korte. Kahit ang Supreme Court or Division ng Supreme Court or Division ng Court of Appeals, Division ng Sandigan Bayan, pag nagbabago ng member ng division, tuloy pa rin ang kaso. Hindi naman madi-dismiss yung kaso.
Senator Koko, there are already cases filed at the Supreme Court to settle this issue. But also, we do know that the Supreme Court is an equal chamber. So what falls under their jurisdiction to decide upon dito po sa question nga kung maaaring tumawid sa 20th Congress? Sila po ba ang magde-decide, ang ultimate arbiter dito, yung Supreme Court?
Hindi ko alam kung may pending petition na kasi ang alam ko petition is to force the Senate last February to conduct the trial, and then there's another petition to prohibiting the trial. Those were filed early, mga February, March, di ba? So, itong whether maka-crossover ba from the 19th Congress ang Senate impeachment kit Congress, if it is framed, if the petition frames it as a constitutional issue, it can be brought to the Supreme Court. However, meron ding doktrina sa constitutional law that if it is a political question or if it is too much politics, it's about too much politics, or it's a political question, sasabihin ng court, although this has been framed as a constitutional issue, actually it is a political issue, and we are not to decide political issues. Pwede ganon. So that is the political question doctrine.
So if the Senate does not decide to convene as an impeachment court, maaari po bang mangyari din yun? What will happen after that? Does it all end there?
Itong Senate na ito, the 19th Congress Senate, which received the impeachment complaint, must convene as an impeachment court. Dapat naman, kasi February 5 namin natanggap yun po. March, April, May, June, 4 months ago na. We must convene as an impeachment court. Although, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, we cannot proceed na to trial action because of lack of time. But we must convene as an impeachment court because if we do not do that, we will not be faithful and compliant in good faith with the mandate of the Constitution that trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Kung dinelay mo na ng 4 months and then naka 6 session days ka as a Senate legislative body, and yet you never convened yourself as a court, Senate impeachment court, in the 6 days na naiwan sa'yo, you are not complying already in good faith with the Constitution.
I guess the bigger question is, will there be a trial in the 20th Congress? That much remains to be seen. For the meantime, maraming salamat po sa pagpapaliwanag ng mga issue dito nga po ukol sa impeachment. That was Senate Minority Leader Koko Pimentel. Maraming salamat for your time. Don't go away. We'll be back with more stories right after a quick break.
So, if we want to be deeply rooted on our culture and heritage, para magkaroon rin ng pagkakaisa yung bansa natin, we should go out and watch more documentaries na ganito, where we will learn from and where we will be, hopefully, proud of being Filipinos. So there's not one, scene but siguro tumanim sa akin lahat. The interviewees are very inspiring legends in their specific fields, and even the stories that they shared with us talaga nakaka-inspire. So it's everything and anything that you should love about being a Filipino. So ako yon. Siyempre iba siya.
Ako gagayahin ko yun. Gagayahin ko na lang para di na mag-isip. Pero yes, lahat tumanim, and ako mismo natuto rin ako na parang sa bawat episode, yung food, yung sausawan. Akala ko hindi ko mapapatayo yung sausawan episode. Mahirap sa akin sulatin. But fun siya, naging fun, parang natuwa yung mga nanonood, nagpi-preview. But gusto ko lang sabihin na really at the end of the day, it's yung being able to produce yung ganitong klaseng material, it's a blessing. Parang it's really not only giving back sa country natin, but yung gift na yung binigay ni Lord na it's about producing, about writing, gift kasi siya in a way. So yun yung fruit na yung pagsusulat, paggawa ng documentary na gito, yung fruit na ino-offer naman natin pabalik sa Kanya. So parang may ganong dimension, may ganong motivation. And at the same time, yung advocacy na, sige, gawa naman tayo ng magagandang materyales para sa Pilipinas. And sana kami may matutunan yung manonood, and sana dumami pa yung mga ganong materyales para
talagang mamapa natin kung sino tayo bilang Pilipino sa buong mundo.
Sa dami ng influences na meron tayo, medyo na magulo pag
kasi
minsan.
madalas yan Miss Universe, boxing, Manny Pacquiao, saan ba tayo nakikilala? Sa pagkanta, at saka nakikilala tayo sa peace and order situation dito, di ba madalas? Pero ngayon, nakilalanin natin ang Pilipino. Kung sino nga ba tayo through this docu-series. Let's invite everyone to watch your docu-series.
So, in-invite po namin kayo manood ng I Love Filipino. Ito, light lang, fun, may konting kurot. So, ayaw namin mag-overpromise. But may mga maliliit na discoveries na makatulong na kumbaga parang moment natin na, uy, doon pala yung galing, no? Doon pala yung natin, pagkain natin, bahay natin, etc. And I hope kahit papano meron ho kayong ma-inspire ho kayo at may gaya namin, may natutunan ng konti dito at magtuloy-tuloy pa yung ganitong mga projects and materials. Mas dumami pa tayo na mag-produce at magsulat ng mga ganitong klaseng tema at topics po.
Amen. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I Love Filipino on June 12, Philippine Independence Day for global release on Netflix. Manood po kayo.
Sarap naman marinig yun. Congratulations sa inyo. Ramdam na ramdam natin yung pagiging makabayan today. Although the Independence Day is about 9 days away. Let's all watch that. I Love Filipino on Netflix. Congratulations again.
Thank
We have
you.
Direct Marnie and Jiggy, of course, paving the way for documentaries on that platform. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Ho. We are One News, all sides, all the time.